Last week I did some experimenting on glass with paint inlays. When I do some experimenting, I don't do small, I go big. I wasn't real happy with the way this worked out and ended up decoupaging some of the paper on. So let's have another look at that. So I used the paint inlay on the back, and then it didn't all come off. It didn't transfer well, so I was a little frustrated, and I used the spent paper as decoupage paper. And now I've flipped it over, and I was frustrated with the lines that left. So guess what? I'm trying it again. I'm using that same flat clear coat, and I'm using some of the floral chintz inlay, and I so love this. I had considered using transfers to cover up the lines, but I just wasn't into big roses or big flowers of any sort. I just wanted something small and delicate, so that's why I chose to go with the chintz. I also racked my brain trying to decide if I was going to use transfers or try this again. And I rewatched the video from Michelle from Serendipity House. And again, I thought, well, she used a varnish and she only left hers on 10 minutes. So I'm thinking, it has a sealer in it, so I treated it like I did whenever I've used it with the silk paint. So I decided, yes, it needed to be removed much quicker, and I left it on too long on the other side. I'm still not sure I'm using the right medium, but I'm going to experiment some more and find out. Now, again, I am not using a brand new paint inlay, and I'm also using, again, this satin flat. So I am trying to lift up to see how that's working. I'll give you a spoiler alert, that didn't work down at the bottom. But I was determined to continue, so I found a whole bunch of these chintz inlays, and I cut them up, and they all had different colors. Like I had used it on blue, and I had used it on a terracotta kind of color. So I had all kinds of different backgrounds, but I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. I'll save some time here and just let you know that what I started doing was leaving it on a lot less than 10 minutes, like maybe 5 minutes, and not spraying it unless I was having a problem pulling the paper up. And my results, they weren't perfect, but I was kind of liking what was happening because it looked like the flowers were just kind of worn, and I was kind of liking that look. So I just kept doing what I was doing. As I mentioned, the bottom ones didn't turn out. As you see, I'm trying it again. I still misted that top one, and I think it was after that one that I kind of quit misting so much. I started just positioning the pieces where I wanted them, putting a little bit of the clear coat underneath it, holding it down, and doing the other half. The more I went, the less particular I got. I chose to use the brayer a lot because I thought, if anything, it's going to make better contact. I'm not always the brightest crayon in the box. You know, I cut those, and I could have done it like not on that piece so I didn't have to pick up all the scraps, but I get in a creative flurry and I just keep going, and I don't often think about those things, but I'm just trying to get this portion of it done and just continue to experiment. So you can see that it's very sparse, but like I said, I was really kind of liking the look because it looked like it was worn off. So I continue to just try to cover up any lines that I didn't like. So I kept going until I felt like I had covered about as much as I wanted to with the chintz. So then I looked at it and I just decided it needed something more. So again, I experiment with a stamp. I'm using the Rose Toile stamp and black ink simply because the La Chasse ink was black, and I felt like it would make it kind of cohesive. So any lines that I got frustrated and couldn't cover with the inlays, the chintz inlays, I am now going over with a stamp. I start to use it with a brayer, and that probably was making it shift a little bit. I was doing okay, but I think that I should have just kind of gently stamped because glass is slippery. I try to remove the hinges. They're flathead screws and they are in there for eternity. I tried using the drill and all that. Can you tell I'm a little frustrated at this point? So you know what? I gave up, and it's gonna have hinges. Hinges are cool. I need something to make me happy, so I'm gonna use Morning Sunrise. My favorite silk color. I just love this color. It's such a pretty violet kind of color. I thought that it needed a soft, very nice soft color. It's such a sweet image of these children, even though they're trying to trap an animal. It's all about hunting. But you know, that was simpler times, and they're having a good time. I'm just a little silly because I'm just wanting to get over this project. I love it, but you know, it's just kind of not exactly what I envisioned, yet I don't hate anything that's happening. Do you ever get like that? Let me know in the comments. Do you ever just love what you're doing, but yet you just need it to be over with? I have to remember that this wasn't a fail because I worked through it and I found a different way to use the product. I'm just going to keep going like I always do. hey, I have a great idea for you. If you haven't already subscribed, how about doing that and hit the notifications bell? And another fantastic idea is to hit the join button, and then you can be a channel member. Channel members get to help me decide what to do on Tuesday Talk, and we have a special Facebook group and special emojis. We're a small group right now, but we're growing, so we'd love to have you join us. Now we're getting somewhere. On to the finishing touches. This is brand new from the summer release of Iron Orchid Designs molds, and this is the primitive mold. So I thought, what could be sweeter than using these little bunnies? Maybe they're trying to catch a rabbit, but I thought that would be perfect for this. I like that they're facing each other, so we're going to work with that. There are a few images on there that face each other. There are some birds and some leaves, so we're going to go with the symmetry and work with that. It's almost time to unmold these. The micro rim on these makes it so easy to get all of the little extra clay bits out and have these incredibly detailed molds come out just perfect. So let's give it a go. Let's flip it over and coax them out. They don't need much coaxing. They're popping right out. And they are beautiful. I can't believe the detail on these. The little hairs on the hair. Just so cute. And on to the birds. I'm going to do a few of the birds, and they're so easy to do. They basically take just a few minutes to mold, and they pop right out. That would be cute to do something sort of back to back with that mold as well, maybe with some two-part epoxy. Another cute one. Lots of detail. And I love these leaf molds. They're nice and deep and very stable, but yet they sort of sway, I guess you could say. It was kind of cool that they weren't exactly the same because of the way they moved a little bit. Now, if I used the amazing casting resin, they would be stationary. I also made a little floral design, just a little flower to fit on top of the knob. I thought that was just perfect because it reminded me of one of those little chintz flowers. So I used Titebond Thick and Quick glue to glue all of those molds to the piece. I did do one coat of paint on there because molds with the air dry clay can shrink up a little bit when they dry. So I thought if I paint it the color that it's going to be underneath and then it shrinks, then it's not going to show a halo around the mold. The casting, rather, I should call it a casting, the thing that you put The clay in is the mold, and the thing that comes out is the casting. As you know, I don't throw much away, so I had these old brackets from some shelves that I had at my old store. I didn't have that type of shelving anymore, but for some reason I still had these two brackets. But they came in handy as sort of a mending plate for me to stabilize and attach these two pieces. So the two pieces still have a little bend to them, but it's okay. They'll stay together now between the glue, the latch that was in the piece, and those mending plates or old brackets. I measured down 8 inches to put my hanging brackets. Okay, not every girl has a roll of chain. Someone offered me this roll of chain for $15 a long time ago. It's the kind of roll like you see at Lowe's, and I bought it, and I'll tell you what, it's been indispensable. I've used it for so many things, for displays in the store and you name it. I'm using a heavy-duty zip tie to attach it. These are rated at 50 pounds each, so I think we're going to be okay, and that's as easy as it gets. I start the screw for the handle while it's still laid on its front side before I flip it over. I had these little tassels that I got from Amazon, and they were very boho, so I decided to slide the beads off and paint one in the morning sunrise, one in a pink color, and one in a green color to kind of bring out the colors that were in the chintz. I used some Easy Peasy spray wax and Dixie Dirt in the color Ash to add some interest to this piece instead of using a colored wax or a glaze. This is powder, and it just goes great with that wet wax that we just sprayed. So I just kind of use it. You can sprinkle it or however you want to use it. You'll find many uses for it. And by the way, if you're interested in purchasing any of the Dixie Belle products, you can go right to my website, which is called lavintagedecor.company. I love all the detail in those molds. It's like I said, there's hairs in the hair, so very cute. You can see it all. I continue to wax and basically distress the entire piece and all the pieces that you normally would. I put the tassel over the doorknob, And then I get some gold gilding wax for a final touch. Because remember, we put a little gold spray on the back of the piece. So now we're just going to reiterate that and just give it a little something something. Lastly, I give it a spray with Rust-Oleum's 2X Clear Coat. Remember what our doors looked like before? Check them out now. Thanks so much for watching today. If you liked this video, let's give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company, and on Instagram, we're lavintagedecor. On Facebook, we're lavintagedecor Altoona. Stay well.